And welcome everyone. My name is Jane Meyer, and I work with I'm a volunteer, a mentor with SCORE, Central Jersey chapter. And we're excited to learn today about growing your business with social media content. Content is king, we all know that, right? And so we're going to talk about how you get new customers through that engaging content. Before we get started, I just want to review a little bit about SCORE, our organization. You can learn all about us if you go to centraljersey.score.org. That's our chapter's website. We serve Middlesex, Somerset, and Hunterdon counties. Although in today's virtual world, we serve anyone. So welcome, come on board, take a look, see what we have to offer. If you're not familiar with SCORE, our job is to help small businesses, whether you're just thinking about a business, you're just getting started. If you're in business, we can help you grow and prosper. We're a nationwide organization. We have about 250 chapters across the US and well over 10,000 mentors. So no matter what your business need is, we can find someone that could help you. The three main things that we do as an organization are to offer seminars and webinars, business webinars right now primarily instead of seminars, like the one today. Most of those webinars, seminars are for free. Some chapters charge just a small fee for those. We have lots of resources. Probably any topic you can think of relative to business and small business in particular are on our website. And go there, check out. You can find videos, print materials, booklets, brochures, you name it. And those are all for free. And then I think the most important thing we do is mentoring. We work one-on-one, two-on-one with you as a small business owner to help you with whatever you need. So go to our website, look for a mentor, and we would be more than happy to work with you. We look forward to it. Enough about us, and on to our presenter today. Sue Wilcox has been working with SCORE for a long time. She's very generous with her time. I want to thank Sue for that. She's always willing to share her time and her expertise with our SCORE clients. She's going to talk about social media and how to develop the content for that. Sue is more than qualified on this topic. She's president of her own company, small business, so she knows about small businesses, eDynamic Marketing LLC. She's a Business Made Simple marketing coach. She has expertise in that. She's a certified guide with StoryBrand, and she's a constant contact email specialist. So she's got a wealth of background and information, and her contact information is here on the slide as well. So Sue, we're really looking forward to your presentation. Thank you so much for presenting with us today. Take it away.
Thank you, Jane. I always have fun presenting to your groups. Today, we're going to talk about growing your business, and specifically, we're going to be using social media, how you use social media, and specifically, what content do you put out there to make it work? It's not only a hot topic, it's a very big topic. There's a lot of aspects to it. Today, I want to give you the 30,000-foot view of how all these pieces fit together, because there's a lot of moving pieces that make up this topic. So here we go. The average business person sees 121 emails every single day. They're exposed to over 360 ads every day. That's paid advertising. In addition to that, they're exposed to over 5,000 brand impressions every day. What do I mean by a brand impression? I mean, you go, think about your trip to the supermarket. You arrive, you park your car, you get your cart. On your cart, on the handlebar is an advertisement, right? The plastic gripper. On the little children's seat, there's an advertisement. On the front of your cart, there's usually a little billboard there. As you walk up to the store, the front window is covered in ads, ceiling to floor. You walk in, every produce display has a sign hanging out of it. It's propped up. If you look down at the floor, sometimes there are stickers advertising. There are signs hanging from the ceilings, and they're swaying in the wind inside the store. As you walk down the aisles, there are even little coupon machines that are spewing coupons at you as you walk by. You can't help but be exposed every day, all day to brands. Even as you're driving down the highway, you're looking at, every automobile has a brand to it. You're passing signage, you're passing billboards. You got dressed this morning. There were probably 10 brands in your closet that you saw. You put your shoes on, they had a brand to them, and you're looking at that branding. So all day long, every day, our customer is being bombarded with brand impressions. So the question is, how do you break through? How do you make a difference? How do you get your customer to see who you are and the value that you can offer? And that's what we're going to focus on today. We're going to take you through the steps that you need to take to make sure you're being seen. It starts kind of simple. I call it my 3 C's. You have to be clear, concise, and consistent. You need a clear strategy. You need to know what your business goals are and what your brand positioning is. And by brand positioning, I mean, how are you helping your customer? And how do you want your customer to see you? So you need a clear strategy. You need very concise messaging. You need to know exactly how you're going to state who you are and how you solve your customers' problems. And people need to be able to repeat that back to you. And the last thing you need to do is consistently deliver a message all day long, every day, everywhere, the same message. And if you're looking for a good example, think Geico. 15 minutes could save you. And if we were in a live audience right now, I would expect everybody in this room to be saying 15%. We know it because they haven't changed their message in a solid 10 years. 15 minutes can save you 15%. That's what they offer. When your message is that simple and that clear, your customer will remember you and you'll have broken through the rest of the noise. So let's take a look at how we do that. We're going to start with some marketing strategy and content planning strategy. I'm going to move into planning. Just like everything, planning should be most of your time. And then we'll talk about how you create that content that will keep your social media channels and your website chock full of good information. So let's start with marketing. Oops. If you look at marketing in general, and I'm going to apologize, I just realized I have a mistake on the slide. I wanted this header to say simply marketing. The next slide is digital marketing. But if you were ever in a marketing 101 class in college, every textbook ever has talked about the 4 P's, maybe 5, 6, 7 P's of marketing. And it's product, pricing, placement, and promotion. So product is simple. You have to solve a problem. It has to be a good problem. You have to have a good product. If you want to go viral on social media, go ahead and put out a bad product. You'll be viral fast enough. From a pricing perspective, it has to be financially sound. You have to be making money. If you're not making money, that problem is only gonna be exponential as you move on. Make sure you're sitting down, contact somebody at SCORE and ask for some financial help on how you can turn it around and make a profit. Because seriously, don't do anything else until you know that you're gonna make money out of this. Be financially sound, and whatever price it is you're charging, make sure it's acceptable to the customer. Placement is easy. There's retail, where are you going to sell your product? Is it at retail? Are you brick and mortar? Are you doing it strictly online via website? Are you a service? Do you go out to your customer? And then we get to promotion, which includes branding, traditional advertising, and now digital advertising. So branding is everything you tell the customer about yourself. It's your promise, your logos, your color. Traditional advertising is essentially everything that happened before the internet. It's TV, radio, newspaper, print, outdoor, all of those things that have been advertising staples for us. And now digital advertising is everything that is now accessible to us because of the internet. We all have websites, social media, blogging, email. And yes, it's a lot of work, but the beauty of digital advertising for the average small business owner is this. Digital advertising leveled the playing field for us as small business owners. If in the past, if I wanted to make a big impression, I needed to do an advertising flight. It might have cost me $1.5 million. Most small business owners can't go there, but I can blog and I can post to social media and I can do it from my laptop. So digital advertising really supports the small business owner, and we should, I, for one, am very grateful for it. But let's take a look at Let's look at digital marketing just a little bit more for a second. What is it and what does it entail? First thing you need for digital marketing is a strong strategy. You need to know what your product is and how it helps your customer. You need to understand who your audience is. And I'm going to get into that in detail. We're going to talk about your business goals. You do need a budget. Even though so many things on the internet are free, there's still costs involved. And you have to know what your branding is and what your brand position is. So like everything else in the world, strategy first. The next most important thing when you talk about digital marketing is a website. And in the case of social media and content, the goal of all your social media is to get people to the website. If your website is not good, fix that first. If I spend all day long posting links to social media only to get them to my website and the website doesn't work well, or it doesn't communicate a message or make them feel secure when they arrive there because it doesn't load properly or whatever, you've got a problem. All of that effort on social media is going to be wasted if your website doesn't look good. It has to have a good design. It has to have a strong call to action. The pictures need to look good. The copy needs to make sense. I don't think that most business owners spend enough time on copy. And then, of course, SEO, which stands for search engine optimization, has to be in place so that people can find your website. In the scheme of digital marketing, the job of what the website is going to be to capture leads for your customer. That's what its job is. Once you have the leads, you want to put them into an email campaign. So from the website, we're going to generate lists of potential customers. Once we have that list, we want to put them into retention. We want to do a lead nurturing campaign. We want to be sending them emails and telling them more about ourselves and further explain, hey, you landed on my website because you were trying to solve a problem. Here's how I can help. And then the other thing that email does better than any other aspect of digital marketing is for your existing customers, it gives you a chance to stay in front of them and remind them who you are and how you can help. Then comes, so email is really about customer retention and generating and talking to new leads, nurturing leads. Social media, on the other hand, is about filling your pipeline. And it's all of the channels, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, it's everything. It also includes some of your social advertising if you want to do Google AdWords, those kinds of things. So all of those things compromise our social media efforts. But none of this works. The website, the email, the social media, none of this works without content. You need good content. The rest of your digital marketing efforts are going to rely on what you say, when you say it, and where you say it. So you're going to need a calendar to keep track of all of that. You're going to need a strong CTA or call to action. Blogging is going to become very effective, and having a source of visual content. And, for some people, that's going to be great. If you're a jewelry designer, you probably have images that you can use all day, every day. If you're a tax consultant, it's a little tougher because 1040 form doesn't make for interesting content, but so you're going to have to work a little bit harder, but there are ways around that. Instead of selling what you do, you sell the promise. Okay, I'm a financial consultant, but now I'm delivering what your future might look like if you plan properly. So that's the visual content you're going to rely on. The most important thing to remember is that none of this works unless you have a strong content, a flow of content, and a content strategy to pull it all together. So let's talk a little bit more about content marketing. What is it? Simply put, it's what you say on your website, in your emails, on social media, just about everywhere. It's how you position your brand. And how does that work? It's really simple. It's about getting the right message to the right people at the right time. It is simple. It doesn't mean it doesn't take a lot of work. So let me show you some of the things you're going to have to do to make it happen. How it works is the first thing you're going to use all your content to attract new people. So how do we attract people? We put up blog posts, we change our website, we add videos, we post articles. All of these things are types of content that will bring new people in. We'll get them to click through from whatever social media channel they're on to our website. Once they're on the website, we'll use what we call a lead generator to gather more information about them. And specifically, we want to capture their email address. If you do outbound marketing where you're calling people, you might want to ask for a phone number. But basically, you're going to provide an ebook or a PDF or a list. For example, if I was a party planner and I did children's birthday parties, the type of information that I might offer to a customer as a lead generator is, here's 55 ideas for superhero birthday party ideas. All you have to do is give me your email address and I'll email you this list to you so you can start planning your child's party. And having this information ready for you is just one way that I can help you make your kid's birthday party go better. So you're going to offer up free webinars, you're going to do PDFs or white papers, ebooks, all of these things, anything that you can offer to the customer that adds value so that it's worth it for them to give you their email address. And then from there, once you have it, we want to get more interaction with that customer. We want to put them into lead generating campaigns. Again, if you're doing outbound marketing, you might call these people. You might offer a free assessment, like maybe I'm a roofer. And so my free offer is going to be, a free estimate. Or I'm going to do a free financial analysis for you, those kinds of things. Anything you can do to give them some feeling of who you are and what you do, and to help build trust and credibility with that customer. You're going to send them email campaigns so that they're slowly building a relationship. All of these things are going to help you ultimately close the sale. That's why we say, and I saw in the chat earlier, that content is king, right? And it is, and there's so many reasons. It helps you get new customers. It drives traffic to your website and to your location. And I can spend a lot of time on radio advertising and billboard advertising and Google AdWords, getting people to do this. But content, I'm going to use the word free here very loosely. By writing a blog and posting, you're almost getting it for free. Now, it does take time, whether you're hiring somebody to do that for you or you're just using your own time. There's some cost there. But basically, having good content is like having the currency to buy almost an endless advertising campaign. As long as you can produce content, you can be advertising for free. So that's why we always say content is king. It really does open the doors to so many other things for you. Oops, sorry. But just like everything else, planning is everything. And, the Pareto principle, which I live by some days, I think, it's the 80-20 rule. 80% of your time should be spent planning and 20% of your time executing. Have you ever driven by a job site and saw a new building going up and make the comment, wow, that was fast. I can't believe that building's already up. Well, there's a reason that happens so quickly. It's because the builders and the contractors have been meeting for months. They've planned it. They know every inch. They know every piece of material they're going to need. They've already got all their permits in place. Everything's in place so that when they hit the job site and they have groundbreaking on day one, it's all systems go, right? That's how you want your content marketing to go. There are certain things you have to do before you dive deep into a content marketing plan. These are the three primary ones. You need to know your business goals. What is it that you want to achieve? If it's like starting a road trip without knowing where you're going. You've got to know what you want and where you're going and what success looks like. So what are your business goals? A good website is critical. If everything is driven to the website and it doesn't look good and they click off of it in 2 seconds, then all that work was for naught. And then once you get them to the website, even then, people aren't ready to buy. So we have to have a sales funnel that captures them and helps us convert them from somebody who is just a little bit interested to a customer. So let's talk about your business goals. What can you achieve with content marketing? Number one, it's especially on social media, you generate awareness for your brand. You create interest. So generating awareness, just staying in front of people, letting them know who you are, reminding them that you're there if they're an existing customer. So keeping that general interest about your brand running. It helps you build trust. If you can offer a free offer or a simple incentive like a free estimate or a free review, those are things that give the customer time to get to know you and to understand, hey, this guy's what he says he is. He's got integrity. I trust him. So it lets you build trust. It helps you drive traffic to your website, also your location, if you're brick and mortar. And we want to get them, a lot of content goes to social media, but again, the goal of it is to get them to the website because social media is distracting. They're only going to stay there for a couple seconds. And if you don't capture them and get them to click off of social media and into your website, you're going to lose them to cat videos in about 10 seconds. We've got to get them to focus. That's why we bring them to the website and we have a good website that keeps them there and maintains their interest. And then once we have them to the website, we have a way to capture those leads as people who are potentially interested in us, and we try to collect their email and their phone numbers. Those are your business goals. That's what you can accomplish with, those are the primary business goals. There's a lot of ancillary ones as well, but this is what you can do with content marketing. So when in the planning phases here, I need a website. It needs to be effective. There's a few things. I mean, planning a website, I could teach a 3-credit course in college. I do teach a 3-credit course on planning an effective website. But I've got one slide for you today. So the big things are you need to capture the reader in 15 seconds. Most website visits are less than 15 seconds. We call it, some people call it the caveman test. Some people call it the grunt test, the 15-second test. But these are the things you have to communicate in the first couple of seconds so they don't click off. You have to capture them. You have to let them know who you are so they have a little bit of confidence in the site that they're on. They don't feel like they're getting scammed. You have to very clearly say in the headline how you're going to make their life better. The headline has to be about them. If you're a real estate agent and you say, hey, I'm a platinum this, and I've sold the most in my county or town, you're talking about yourself and not about the customer. What the customer wants is to sell their house faster and get the most amount of money. That's their problem. We have to address their problem, not who you are in those first 15 seconds. Trust me, we'll get to who you are and why you're better than everybody else. But at the top of the page, it's always about the customer. And then the next thing you need is a very clear call to action. People are busy. They're not necessarily thinking about how do I take an action or should I take an action? So you have to kind of lead them down the path. And that's usually with a strong call to action. And if you go on Amazon, that call to action is a big gold button that says buy now, right? It's very simple. It's very direct. This is what I want you to do. So get a free estimate, click here to get a coupon. Whatever the one step you want them to take is, make sure that's clear. So you've got to have an effective website that passes the 15-second test. Who you are, how you make their life better, and how do they take an action. You only want one call to action. If you give me several call to actions, I'm confused and I don't know what to do. If I say to any one of you, hey, are you free this weekend? You want to go out to dinner? You go, oh, I don't know. Is Friday better or Saturday better? Should I check with my significant other? What should I do? If I say, are you free Friday at 5 for drinks? It's so much easier. It's a yes or no. Yes, I'm available. No, I'm not. I happen to be doing something else. But it makes it so much simpler for the client. And at this point, it has to be that simple. If I come to your site and I'm confused about how to take an action or which action I should take, you've lost me. I'm like, you know what? I'm busy right now. I'll come back to this later when I have time to think about it. And I click off and I leave the page. And I'm probably gone forever. Don't let the customer leave. Hook them with just one simple task. And if that simple task is as simple as finding a way to get their email address, then your website has done its job. And it just has to communicate as clear as possible. If you put a whole bunch on there, there's a saying, when everything is important, nothing is important. If I open up your website and it's just everything you could possibly do thrown against the wall for me, and it's up to me to sort it out, I'm going to leave because I don't have the time today. I only have one problem, right? I want to sell my house. If you tell me 20 things that you do, I'm confused. So keep that website very simple. You also need a sales funnel. Sales funnel is very simply, it's how you convert a reader, somebody who's looking at your website, from just being mildly interested into being a customer. So you have to generate awareness, let them know who you are, and then get them a little bit interested. Hey, that sounds like me. I could use that. And then help them make the decision. Oh, you know what? This is doable for me. I can buy it. And that's how you close the sale. So the first thing you have to do is attract new customers. And a lot of people use social media as that. That's a good platform for that because it gives you a broad scope of new people to talk to. You have to be telling them how you solve their problem to get them hooked. That's the hook. That's how you generate awareness. Then you educate them, explain how you can help, then help them make that decision, provide more information, put them in a nurturing campaign where every week or every 2 or 3 days, they get an email from you explaining how you help, and then strong call to actions, close the sale. So that's your basic sales funnel. And you have to keep in mind, 85% of the people who are visiting your website are not ready to make the decision. So your website's job is to capture the lead so that you can continue to educate them. So social media is going to drive them to the website. Once we get them to the website, we're going to capture the lead so we can educate them, help them make the decision, and close the sale. a lot of your success in in content marketing and social media is gonna depend on you using the right tool for the right job. So your website has very specific jobs to do. It's your information hub. It's where they go to check everything out. It's got 2 jobs it has to do. It has to close the sale. So there's your call to action. And it has to capture leads. So that's your lead generator. Here's my free estimate, or here's an article, a white paper that you can read. Email is all about your existing customer, in terms of real estate. They say location, location, location. Email is customer, customer, customer. We got 2 things that email does for you. One, it retains your existing customer by reminding them on a regular basis who you are and what they have to offer and why they should come back. And for the new leads that you've been gathering off your website, we're going to nurture those people into becoming customers. That, most small business would tell you, if I say, where do you get your business from? 90% is repeat and referral. Email addresses repeat and referral, right? It's current customer and new leads, making it a very critical part of what your content marketing campaign should look like. And then social media is the other 10%. It's the amplifier. It fills the pipeline. It attracts new people. You never, even if you maintain your 90% of your base, you always want to be bringing in new people and create. Social media helps you grow, right? It continually brings in new people. So that's why social media is important. Sometimes I feel bad when I say, well, that's the other 10%. It doesn't sound as important, but it's critical. You need that flow of new people. And then SEO, which is search engine optimization, is about being opportunistic. I have my base that I can talk to. I have new people that I can find through my social media channels, but there might be somebody out there that I haven't found on my own, but is looking for me. And I'll give you the example of a flower shop. If I own a flower shop in Raritan, New Jersey, and grandma lives in Raritan, New Jersey, but her grandson lives in Los Angeles, he may not know the local flowers and he wants to send grandma some flowers for her birthday. He goes online and says, flower shops in Raritan, New Jersey. I could never market to Raritan, New Jersey. I would never pay for a campaign. To Los Angeles, because it's just too far out of my little flower shop's scope of business. But yet there are people out there looking. So search engine optimization helps those people find you and brings them in as customers. Using the right tool and knowing what each tool is meant to do is so important. Can't tell you how many new people say, I started the business and I opened up a Facebook page, so I'm good to go. That's not true. There's a lot of tools, and just like building that house or that structure we just talked about, sometimes you need a hammer and sometimes you need a saw, and knowing which tool to use and when is going to be critical in your success. So here's how you want to put each of these tools to work for you. And so in terms of our sales funnel, awareness is driven through social media. Interest is going to be driven on the website. They're going to get to their decision because we've put them into a lead generator program and we've kept them informed and helped them make the decision. And then we're using emails and sales calls and everything to make that last call to action and bring them in. So that's how the sales funnel works with content and social media. Social media being at the top of the sales funnel, making it very important because it's bringing in the new people. I see a couple of Q&As, and before I get to our next section, I just jump in and ask some questions. Is there I'm not familiar with a free SEO tool that you can use. Anyway, to add streamline adding content to multiple social without tediously doing each individually. Yes, there are a lot of tools like that, like Hootsuite is probably the biggest one. where you can create one post and then post it to several channels, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at the same time.
Is there what would he search for to find those tools?
Content posting tools,
Okay.
content creators, Hootsuite. There's a lot of them.
He also says he has lots of stock photos. They're thematic, but he said stock photos, he heard that stock photos don't help SEO. He can't take original photos because he's a psychologist.
When you post a stock photo to your website, take a few minutes, change the name of the file. So if I put up when you download it from Big Stock, let's just say it's going to say Big Stock number 26800, whatever the number is going to be. So you're going to have this Big Stock label. Resave it as your brand name and the topic you're talking about. So if I was a salon, I might do my salon name, Prom Hairdos. And I'd make the title of the stock photo that. And then when you post it, you have the opportunity to put what they call alternate text. Putting in alternate text will also help.
Yeah, because Google is searching for words. Google can't read the photo. It can only read the words.
But if it's reading Big Stock, then it's not differentiating what you're trying to communicate. So it's just putting you in the big pile and it's not helping your SEO. If you can, customize those stock photos so that it looks more like your brand and you're telling them what's happening in the photo, sunset sail cruises and some beach town along the coast. I don't know. If you can tell Google what's in the photo, that's going to increase your SEO score. My gosh.
Helene, is it better to build a website using Wix or WordPress?
That's a big question, Helene. It kind of depends on what your plans are for the next 3 to 5 years. If you think that this is an introductory website and you just need to get something up quickly, all Wix and even WordPress has its own website builder. HostGator, GoDaddy, they all have website builders that are all drag and drop and simple to use. But they're also very, very limiting. They don't let you customize as much as you would like. You can only put things in the blocks that they define. But if you wanted to realign stuff, I wanted these 2 images to overlap, or I wanted to put this call to action right on top of the image, those kind of things, they really don't have the capacity to do that as neatly as we would like. And we also don't have access to some of the back end for SEO purposes. So if you're getting started, those are good. Keep in mind, if you use their site, you're not going to be able to transfer that site to a new site. You're going to have to be rebuilding from scratch. So think through your long-term strategy. It's okay to use it to get started, but know that ultimately you're probably going to have to move it. Most people outgrow those programs pretty quickly. So yes, you can use both. I prefer WordPress. It gives me a lot more flexibility. How to best use purchased emails list. Stella, I wouldn't use an email list. You've heard the, garbage in, garbage out. If I get an email in my personal inbox and it's not from a company that I know, I delete it immediately. I would rather work with a customer who only has 10 people on their email list than somebody who's bought a list of 10,000. From those 10 people, at least I know they're qualified leads. So I would not purchase an email list. Is your freebie used to get customers to your website, or is it something that's offered on your website? Both, Gina. You can use it tactically. However, it all depends on your offer, but absolutely both. The more times you can offer up something a little bit free and entice the customer to get them to the next step, it's good. saying free on social media might get them to the website where you actually, they can fulfill that free offer there. So, I think I've got everything in Q&A. If there's stuff in chat, we'll maybe review. Jane, could you look at those? And at the end, we'll go through those.
Yeah,
So let's talk a little.
The content I think is
Yeah.
good.
Let's we got 20 minutes and I want to make sure I get through everything. Creating content. Sorry. What did I do? Okay. So first question in creating content. What do you say? Again, Pareto principle. I promised you I live by that. It's about the customer. 80% of what you say needs to be about the customer on social media, on your website, in every email. 20% of it can be more promotional and where you talk about yourself. Look at this person. She's only gonna listen to somebody who's gonna help her solve a problem in a minute. We are all time impaired. Nobody's got time to just sort through promotional offers. I'm busy. I need you to solve my problems. I need you to make my life easier. If you're not leading with the problem, you're gonna lose them. After you've expressed, I can solve your problem, then you can go on to say, and here's how I can do it, and here's my offer. Then that's okay. But 80% has to be about the customer. And 80% means 80% of your social media posts should be customer based, and only 20% should be selling yourself, right? And what you say has to clearly communicate your brand story, who you are and what you do and how you help people. Every brand should have a one-liner, and we'll talk about one-liners in a second. Let's talk about your customer, because knowing your customer is the most important thing. So let's just say my target audience is soccer mom. Soccer mom, okay, she's got 2 kids. Maybe she lives in the suburbs. She drives a minivan, right? We all know that she's in her, midlife. So if I was doing traditional advertising and I wanted to buy magazine space, that was the information I needed. I needed the demographics about who my customer was so that I could find them. On digital marketing, we need to know a little bit more. We have to understand them. And the problem is just knowing that she's a suburban mom driving a minivan with 2 kids isn't quite enough, because I don't know any soccer mom that looks like that. That's what soccer mom looks like. It's 3:00. She's got kids all over town. She's late picking somebody up from practice. That coach is going to give her the evil eye because she's always the last parent to pick up. It's 3:00. Kids are everywhere. She doesn't know what's for dinner. You can't sell her life insurance right now, but I could be a life insurance agency that posts right then, here's a simple dinner recipe with chicken and 3 ingredients. That's going to get her attention. It's going to get her to my website so she can download the recipe from a blog. And she's going to trust me more and be grateful to me when I do call it. That's the difference between just knowing who your audience is and some demographics about them, and understanding them and understanding their pain point and knowing how to address their problem. We've got to talk to the customer's problem. So now that we've got the customer defined, where do you get content ideas from? The best content ideas, the best way to solve your customer's problems is answer the question. Most of us in our daily business life get the same 10 questions every day. Let's take a plumber. A plumber might get, how do I prevent my pipes from freezing in the winter, right? So talk about that. Put up a blog that says, here's 3 ways to prevent your pipes from freezing. I worked with a heating and air conditioning guy once, and we put up a blog that said, do these 3 things before you call me. If your heat goes out, you might be able to fix it by yourself. Go down and hit the button by yourself. How many people have complained that they paid, an $85 house call fee and the guy walked in and hit the button? Well, it's not only frustrating to the customer to have to pay the $85 because he could have hit the button himself. It's not profitable for the HVAC guy to come out just to hit the button. He just lost a half an hour where he could be installing a new heater somewhere. That's a much more profitable job. He helped his customer. He built credibility by being the guy who was honest enough to say, hey, hit the button yourself. And he made himself more profitable because he took that off the table. He's not going out to hit the button. He's going out on the calls that are more profitable to him. Industry news and information. Let's just say you're a real estate agent. Maybe the type of information you put is, best 25 school districts in the state, those kinds of things. Social media is stock full, social media industry reports, when to post, how to post, all that information is out there. Community news. If you are a local kind of a business that's serving a certain geographic area, hey, good luck to the high school kids who are doing the spring play tonight. And oh, by the way, if you're busy tonight because your kid's at the play, grab a pizza from me or order online from me. I can make tonight's show go easier because I'm going to take dinner off the table for you. I'll put it on the table for you. So there's lots of news. If you're in a larger community, just talk about new information. If you're a website builder, you can say, hey, community news might include Google just changed its ranking parameters. Here's what you need to know. So there's lots of ways to get to community news. All of these are great things. It's things that people are asking questions about and they're searching for the information. That's the kind of content you want to generate. And now, how do we take those ideas for answers and solving problems and use it as content? We start with a one-liner. This sort of summarizes your brand story. It tells people, whatever your problem is, I have a solution for you, and here's what life is going to look like if you hire me to fix your problem. Your website needs content. And again, from an SEO perspective, one of the most important things you can do is be posting and updating your website on a regular basis. If you let your website sit for 3 to 6 months and it hasn't been updated, Google thinks you can't be a very important business because nothing is changing. You're not moving forward. They want to see constant updates to your website. So a lot of people use blogs to make that happen. So what do you say on your page? What do you say in your blogs? That's all content. Your lead generated, that article that helps them, maybe it's 3 things to do before you call me to come in and fix your heater. Make sure it's really broken first. That lead generator would be very good for most heating companies in the middle of winter. Emails, what are you saying? Are you putting them out regular? And then social media, how often are you posting and when are you posting? All of those things are types of content that we have to manage. So let's talk through some of those. What's a one-liner? One-liner is a bad name for it because it's usually 2 to 3 sentences. Sentence 1 is, it starts with the problem. It's the hook. It's what's going to attract the customer because it's what they're living in their life right now. Soccer mom needs something for dinner. Provide a solution. Here's a recipe. Here's how I can help you today. My heat just went out. Try these 3 things before you call me. And then show them the opportunity. Your life is going to look better if you hire me. So let's just say you're a landscaper, right? Taking care of your lawn every weekend can be challenging when you're busy. At Great Lawn Company, we can keep your lawn looking green and clean so you can enjoy the weekend. It's very simple, but we say it over and over and over again. We say it slightly different ways, but this is, Geico's one-liner is give us 15 minutes and we'll save you 15%. So you can do what you want with your money, right? Simple isn't easy. Getting to a simple one-liner from most businesses makes all the difference in the world. It becomes the outline for everything else you do. It's the outline for your website. It's the outline for your blogs. It's the outline for all your social media posts. So problem, solution, opportunity. So website has to look clean. And just a quick checklist, if you wanted to do something today to improve your sales, just make sure your website's doing these couple of things. And I'm not talking about a massive redesign, but what does the headline say? You know, here's an example of a financial planner for businesses, and she helps them build their profit. Profitability doesn't just happen. Profitability is planned, right? Okay, I get it. I want to be more profitable. You've got me. Plan to be profitable. Take command, and how's it going to look better? You're going to take command of your cash flow. You're going to manage your profits with a simple system, and you're going to be clear about the money. You're going to know where your business stands if you work with me. I've got a way to generate leads. I have her, in this case, she's very busy, so she's just got a waiting list. But if you need a free forecasting spreadsheet to help you in the meantime, she's got that. That's a good lead generator. This page tells the brand story. The problem is that profitability just doesn't happen. You have to plan it. And at Love Your Numbers Now, we're going to help you plan to be profitable so that when you know your numbers, you're in control. That's their one-liner, and it's demonstrated at the very top of the website very cleanly. So somebody who's scanning and has less than 10 seconds to check us out walks away with our message. You know, you want to be more profitable. It doesn't just happen. We can help you, and we can put you in control. That's what it looks like. It's simple and it's clean. It builds credibility because you're making sense to me in the first 5 seconds. That's what a good website looks like. You know, this page needs to continue. There's a lot of other things. I don't want to represent it as the only thing you need to do. But if you're not sure if your website's working and you want to make a quick fix, do this quick checklist. It will make a difference. The other thing you need to do on your website is constantly post new content. So we've got blogs. A blog should be structured like this. You should have an intro paragraph and a little subtitle. You should have an interesting title, then a little introduction. You make 3 major points and you give them a call to action and you get out. Should be at least 250 words. You want to just post it on your website first, and then I'll teach you in a second what we're going to do with it. But that's what it looks like. Here's a finished one. It's got a good headline it's something that people will Google, get better social media results with a better website. It's got a simple introduction. This little abstract is what Google is going to pick up. I can scan it very easily. I see it's about social media goals, improving your social media. The way to improve your social media is to improve your website. And here's 5 easy steps. And step 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 would have went down the page. So the subtitles are good for SEO because each one of these are the kind of thing that Google people are searching. And so Google knows that this is what your article is talking about. This is going to get a lot of SEO hits. And then it also gives me small chunks that I can put on social media. I can say, you know, how do you establish social media goals? Could be a post. Another post can be, you know, if you improve your website, you can improve social media, and I can lead them back to this article. And then I can take each one of the 5 steps. You know, the headline must be customer focused is step 1. If I tell that's a social media post, you know, is your headline customer focused, and then let them read the article. This blog can lead me to multiple social media posts. First, I put it on the website. Then I'm going to send it out to my email list to remind them that I'm here and here's some ways that I can help. Then I'm going to post it out to social media in little tiny pieces. So on Facebook, there are at least 3 posts. I can do point A, point B, point C. Each one of those points that I talk about in the article can be a social media post. And then I'm going to put points A, B, and C on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and whatever other sites that I'm using. So one blog article has given me updated my website, which is good for SEO. It's given me something to say to my existing customers. And depending on how many sites, I have at least 3 to 5 posts per channel that I can put up because I wrote one blog. That's how you use content to fill your social media, to keep your website up to date, and to keep your current customers in the loop. Blogging is very effective. Um, so I'm going to wrap it up here, but using social media to build business, it's really simple. It creates awareness. It keeps you in front of your customer. It drives website traffic. It helps you improve your SEO. And just going right back to the beginning, you just need to start with a clear strategy, very concise messaging, know what you're saying, and deliver it consistently everywhere. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to try to address a few more questions, but I want to make sure here's my contact information. And I've given you a lot right now. I want to say to you, I don't expect you to absorb it, and I expect you to have more questions. I'd be happy to do a free consultation with you. Just work that through our SCORE mentor, work with your SCORE mentor, get set up with a SCORE mentor. And when you're ready and you've got your questions organized, I'm always available. All right. Jane, have we been getting more questions?
Yeah, we have some that we can work through. Francis wants to know, how do you create content when you offer multiple services?
Yeah. Start simple. Is it one umbrella thing that you can talk to? Let's take and you might have to have a one-liner for each individual one. Let's take a photographer. A photographer could be a corporate photographer. They could be a wedding photographer. They could be a family photographer. They might just be more of an advertising photographer, right? So there's all different things that they can be doing. You might have to have sort of a landing page for each brand and be each subsection. But if you can somehow just make each thing individual and talk to the customer differently. A corporate photographer is going to say something very different than a wedding photographer is going to say. And to be honest, I would recommend that to that photographer. I don't know your business, so I'm not sure where you are, but I'd say pick one, because again, when everything is important, nothing is important, and you don't stand for anything in particular. If you can go through and analyze all the different aspects of your business and pick your lead and focus on that, then you've got something. I offer a lot of marketing services, but I don't lead with everything. I lead with strategy because I feel it's the most important. But I can do your emails and I can do your websites and I can do your social media, but I lead with strategy, because if I lay it all on the customer all at the same time, that customer is going to get confused.
What happens in ethics what happens when ethics in fields like counseling prevents you from offering free assessments?
I'd rely on white papers, when it's time to come in for counseling, 3 things that I can help you with, something like that. So if they would still be giving you an email, and then from there you could send out, once you have their email address, you could be sending them emails on a regular basis and try to get them to make the phone call. In your case, probably the first step that you want to achieve in your content is getting them to make the phone call and talk to your office. So, and then who they're talking to, if it's not you, if it's a receptionist, that person understands your brand's one-liner and repeats it nonstop. We help you, we know you have this problem and our office specializes in this type of counseling, so you can feel better. It has to be really direct.
Could you also give tips for, I don't know what the counseling is, but 5 ways to reduce stress?
Yes, absolutely. Anything that your particular client, especially the thing that your client comes in presenting with, if everybody comes in with the same thing, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of my clients come in and say they need social media, and I tell them, you're not ready for social media. You really got to do some of this foundational work first. You need a good website stuff. So if they come in presenting with this particular problem, and then you need to kind of put them in the right channel, offer solutions to the questions they're calling with. What's their pain point? Whatever they called about, in my world, they call because social media is just so big, and they call me on social media. So I'm going to address social media questions.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question. This is kind of an interesting one. I get annoyed when a website wants my email and then emails me all the time. Wouldn't I be doing the same thing if I do that on my website?
Absolutely. Everybody hates pop-ups. The only thing I can say is they work, they work, they work. Yes, they're annoying, but they work. So we keep doing it. You can promise your customers, I will not email you more than once a week or once a month. I would do that based on a couple. You have to determine how often is appropriate for your brand. If your brand, if you're a pizza parlor, well, somebody could order a pizza 3 nights a week, really, but if you're a wedding photographer, well, you're only going to get married once. So how many times do you need to call me? The other thing you have to look at is how often they need you and how big a window is for their decision factor. So, somebody's going to decide to order a pizza like in a couple minutes. The wedding photographer, you probably have about a 2-month window from where they get engaged to where they've got everything lined up. So you've got to look at how much time you have before somebody makes a decision. And that will give you a reasonable estimate of how often it's appropriate to email.
And again, I think back to your earlier point, if you're offering information and not
valuable,
just hounding people, offering value and not just bugging people, that makes all the difference. So,
any other question? I'm quickly scanning.
What if your brand is you and not a product, a coach, a counselor?
It's even more important to build your credibility, because you've got to help them see the integrity that you have. You are who you say you are, and you're going to do what you're going to do. Even though it's you that you're selling, you're the person who owns the business and everybody relies on, but it's the service that you provide. It's the product you're going to focus on. And it's, and that goes back to the one-liner. What's their problem? How do you solve it? Just, you showing up at their front door isn't going to solve their problem. You showing up at the front door with a financial plan or, whatever service you offer, that's going to be what you focus on.
Okay, unfortunately, we're out of time, but I believe, well, number one, go to centraljersey.score.org and get yourself a mentor who can help you with some of these things as well. I believe that Sue would be willing to probably take a few questions by email. If you want to email her directly.
Just make sure I know you're coming from this webinar, so I know how to, where you're coming from.
Okay. And we will be sending Sue's presentation out. Give us a day or so to get it out, but anybody who was on the call today will be getting a copy of her presentation. The recorded presentation will be on our website